Hey, what's up, everybody? Bringing you a review. This time is of the Soap Studios 112 scale, Bruce Wayne and Ra's al Ghul from the Batman, the Christopher Nolan stuff. So let's get started. First, we're gonna go with Batman, then we're gonna do Raj. So actually, we'll just leave him in the background. We're gonna talk about the Bruce Wayne. Oop. Da-na-na-na-na-na. So, real quick, I want to talk about Soap Studios. They're a new studio. They're a new company. They have the potential, but with some of this stuff, I'm looking at it and it's just like it's not hitting this mark with me, especially considering what we were shown in the previous stuff and what we're getting in the final product. So it seems to be like almost like it's still finding its way. While there's some stuff here that's it could be good, there's some stuff with like, oh, the body, like articulation is great, but the clothing they still haven't nailed just yet, and the body proportions they just haven't nailed yet. Some things just look too thin. The likeness on the head is not really there. But with that being said, it does have potential to get better. Hopefully, we'll stick around and we'll see it. But let's get into the review. We're gonna talk about the main, the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to say that the body is nice. The problem is that I think that the shoulders just a bit too bulky. Uh, there is a lot of negative space, but it's kind of just fluffed out across the figure. Even though this is all solid, and looks and feels and functions well, I just think it looks too baggy as a figure. Meanwhile, as you see, I'm squeezing in on the figure. The waist is very thin, but the upper torso is actually full. Not full, sorry. The upper torso is actually full, I should say. Like, it has all the potential of it being there. Or maybe it's just my clothing I should just pull down. But as you can see, it just makes it look like the shoulders are just too wide. Next, I want to talk about the likeness, which is just not there. It just doesn't look like Christian Bale at all. It looks like a random guy dressed up as a bat-like character with gauntlets, just dressed like a ninja mostly. So it just doesn't nail that Christian Bale likeness. But the head can look up. It is connected on a peg. It is so the neck is actually connected too. So you don't get that grid extension that you want to get to master expression up and down. As you can see, you just basically get up, down, left, and right. It's like having a N64 controller. As far as the arm articulation goes, the arm can actually has a great range of extension. It's double jointed. It can rotate in pretty much every which way you would want it. The waist, as you saw, can twist left and right, go back and forth. It has an excellent ab crunch. Even the legs extend all the way out. But I just think they're a tad bit too thin. And as you can see here, even with the articulation, the boot comes up and it shows you just how thin it is here. Now, while the articulation is great, because as you can see, if you want, let me see if I can get him in a cool pose. So you can make it look cool, especially because these gauntlets are actually really nice. I like these gauntlets a lot. They are soft plastic, so you don't got to worry about breaking anything. The hand articulation is actually pretty decent. And while this articulation is all pretty decent, because of the likeness and just the overall look and mold, it just looks a little too out there. As you can see here, looks and folds pretty well. So if you want random characters or you just want something that's going to look somewhat like Batman, maybe you could try modding it. As far as articulation goes, they've nailed it. It's just body proportion and likeness is something that they just have not nailed yet. So real quick, we're going to switch over to Raj. Oh, actually, since we're doing it one by one, this is my first time actually doing like a real double like review. So I'll just go over his accessories first and then we'll move over to Raj. Batman comes with open palms, but next up what he comes with is two closed fists, which is pretty simple. And you get two hands for holding his weapon. That would be one regular old sword here. And as you see, it just slides right in and it connects. Does it fold out? Nope, it actually holds really well in the hand. So he does hold his sword pretty well, and that's pretty good. We're going to move Batman to the background. Now we're going to talk about Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, depending on who else wants to pronounce it, or if DC doesn't make up their mind on how they want to change pronunciation. Doesn't matter at this point. But now we're going to talk about my man Liam Neeson, because you know I love me some Liam Neeson. While they did kind of sort of get the likeness here, it's just way too soft in my eyes. Let me see if I can get that focus on him. As you can see, it looks somewhat like Liam Neeson's, but it doesn't look like Liam Neeson's. Just like an old man who wants to be an old man and kind of dressed as a ninja. But if you know where this outfit is from, you can honestly guess who it is. This has more likeness than the Bruce Wayne does. It just doesn't nail it for me, at least in my opinion. Now, just like Bruce Wayne, he has really nice articulation. Well, just like the Bruce Wayne, he has really nice articulation, except for the head. That's my one downfall. As you can see here, it's connected to the neck peg. That's not something I'm a fan of because it kind of just hinders the articulation. But his arms can move totally up. Actually, he just looks better proportioned as well. The Raj is the one that I like more. His proportions are just something that I like a lot more. As you can see, it can go up, go around. They're double jointed. It can actually fold up anyway. The hand articulation is pretty decent. It rotates around in the joint. Can move left, move right, move back, and then up. And then articulation of the leg is really great. Ankle pivot is obviously something that's really great because you can lift up the boot cut to just do that. And there's toe pivot as well. My toe pivot is really stiff, so I'm going to have to hit it with some hot water. Definitely going to have to treat that because mine is really, really, really stiff. But nail the articulation, have not nailed likeness. And like I said, his body proportions are a tad bit better. But with their leg proportions, that's one thing kind of bothers me sometimes. It looks really thin. But if we're talking about just posing them up, he can actually pose pretty well. So that's not all too bad. But it's one of those things where I'm a little bothered where the legs look a little too thin. But as you see here, it looks good. Now, as far as accessories for Raja Ghul, let's see what he comes with so I can show you guys how cool or not cool he is, depending on what you guys think at the end of the video. So real quick, let's get into this. He comes with his armor that you can actually prop right over his shoulder, and it kind of click and connects in. It's just going to snap in on some tabs. Let me show you guys right now. So you do the back part over the front part. Let me see if I can get it to lock in. And this is the part where it gets a little tricky because you have to get it to go over the clothing and not mess itself up. So mine has a little bit of trouble. Mine actually has a lot of trouble here on this side. Let me just get it to fold over. So the armor actually looks pretty good on him. I'm going to make sure it connects in. There we go. Tabs in. So the armor actually makes him look a ton better. Unlike on Bruce Wayne, he doesn't really come with much. But he actually does have this really cool armor. They also get a swappable head, and I'm going to do this. Now, I've seen it happen on my friend Dallas. He had some trouble with his. But this neck peg is something I'm not a fan of. Like I said, it's on a really thin peg that could break easily, so you need to be careful. He has a swappable head that also matches his armor. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually plug this in. You have to be a little careful. I should actually get some tweezers so I don't risk anything. You have to plug it in through his shirt. Let me see if I have my tweezers here. Yes, I do. So I'm going to use tweezers to just prop away the shirt just a little bit without hurting it. And we're going to try to slide this head in so we can see how cool he looks with it. Yeah, so this is a little dangerous, this head peg incident. I'm just not a fan of this. It's really hard to find the peg with the shirt in the way. So swapping this is going to be a little bit of a pain. I don't want to try to do it off camera. I want to do it in front of you guys to show this is real and genuine. So yeah, mine's is not even snapping in. So that's something I'm not a fan of. And I don't want to risk breaking it. It's a tiny, tiny peg. But I will show you guys this really cool masthead. Again, the head sculpt is really cool. I mean, the design of it, not the actual sculpt. But the head of it is really cool. The problem is being attached to this small neck peg and not actually have a connecting articulated neck actually hinders that a lot. What you do get to go with the armor is a swappable plate for the sword piece. You can snap that right on. It'll hold there actually pretty well. And I'm going to keep the head off for a bit. But with him, you actually get two swords. One short and one long. You're going to get one that matches the armor. And you're going to get a longer black sword. Both are really nice. So, with him, you actually get the same as Bruce Wayne. You're going to get closed fists to match it. You're going to get open palms. Well, not open palms. You're going to get hands that hold the blades just as well. Just keep that in mind. And the Raja Ghul is the one I like better of the two. My problem is being able to swap in that head armor is really something that's bumming me out because I'm having some issues on it. Just like the snapping the armor over the side, I'm having a slight issue. It's not snapping on those tabs. So that's something I definitely need to look into practicing. Either I'm messing it up or I'm just having some trouble. But it's something I'm not a fan of. Just not a fan of those pegs at all. Real quick, because I don't want to put the head back on and have trouble, I'm going to compare it Bruce Wayne size-wise. So let's get you guys out of the way. We're going to do some size comparisons. Now, with their Soap Studios Flash, voila, they're all about the same height. Oop, let me work on that. Let me fix that focus. Sorry about that. So with the Soap Studios Flash, about the same size. He looks a little bit smaller, but they're just about the same size. Let's keep that in mind. Here he is next to a synthetic human, who I've been having a blast with lately. These things are amazing. And as you can see, they are very close to American 112 scale, the Soap Studio stuff, because they are significantly bigger than the 1000 toy stuff, as you can see here. Here they are next to an SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider. And just like with the 1000 toys, you can see they're clearly made more to fit the American scale. They're actually significantly bigger. Here they are next to a Marvel Legends with a custom me head on it. So as you can see, they're very close to the American stuff. So, voila. Very, very close to the American stuff. Here they are next to Storm Collectibles Mike Tyson. And as you can see, Tyson's not that much bigger than them, but bigger, you know. Last but not least, here they are next to Mezco, Captain America. So as you can see, they're definitely more aimed towards the American scale with Marvel Legends and Mezco. So it definitely works here. All in all, I think Soap has potential, but this one is not something I am a fan of. I think that if this was a single pack, I would definitely go for the Raj. The Bruce Wayne is a little bit more on the I'm not feeling side. But the Ra's al Ghul is definitely one that's way better and dope for me. I really like it a lot. I know that this is only sold as a 2-pack. So if you are a big, big Batman fan, this is probably a must for you. But if you're not too big of a Batman fan, you can easily pass. And being all honesty, the figures have great potential. And it bothers me that it's just tiny things to like work out with it. But these are their first couple releases, maybe the third probably release. So I'm hoping it gets back on the right track, you know, hoping things work out. And if they don't, they don't. But I'm really hoping that they do, because I know they're definitely willing to listen and hear the people out as long as you're giving constructive criticism. In the meantime, guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it informative. And in the end, I hope you do good, be good, and drink your water, guys. Be good. Later.